Don't forget, as always, that we love you. And Dane,
Thank you for listening.
Dane, what's up, man? How you been?
Oh, great. Just a little road weary. Took a trip down to Kansas City way to do some announcing for Sydney's team, my daughter, and had a great time at the Top Gun there and rounded it off by doing some men's fast pitch. I got to do
Yeah.
a game there for a brother-in-law. So I went to each end of the spectrum of the softball world
Okay.
this weekend. So it was fun.
12 you and like 42 you, right?
Yeah,
Something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Well,
14
actually,
you.
yeah, 14U and older men, and that's a whole different game. That crow hop makes all the difference.
I'm just saying, if Tom Brady can still do it at 50, so can you guys, right?
Yeah, there you
So,
go.
man, speaking of greats, man, we've been blessed. Y'all know in a second we're bringing on
Yeah,
one of our favorites. It's been kind of old favorites week, and we had Coach Coons on last
yeah,
couple of days ago, and Jackie Lis. We originally met her in her days at SIU. Great. I mean, just a talented girl, so
yeah,
passionate.
absolutely.
So many people look up to her, like whether it's her camps or her drills or just nobody ever has a bad thing to say about her. I even told Dane, I was talking to some people about having her on, and they just couldn't. They were starstruck. Not the only one to think that way
Yeah,
too, because she just got the call, Dane. She's
yeah,
transferring the transfer portal to Texas Tech,
yeah.
which we know a little bit about them, right? We've seen them recently in some, some World Series stuff.
Yeah, they played a couple of important games. So
Yeah,
hopefully with her, they'll push them right over the edge.
we're Sooners, but we were pulling for Texas Tech in that
Yeah,
one.
absolutely.
We love you, Texas, off the field, but on the field, we were pulling for Texas Tech. So, man, it's just good to catch up with an old friend. So I'll get down to it and bring on the one of our favorites, Jackie Lees. Jackie, how you been, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome.
Hey,
It's good to have you back,
great.
Jackie. I know you're busy, and man,
Yeah.
what a cool thing to be transferring to Texas Tech. How you feeling about this right now? You nervous? You just ready to go? How you feeling?
I mean, yeah, obviously there's gonna be some nerves, Last year in a
Yeah.
new place, obviously you're gonna feel a little bit of anxiety about it, but luckily I've played with Nija in travel ball.
Hmm.
So I've already got a good friend there. We've talked a lot over the past couple of years, whether she was at Stanford or Texas Tech. So just knowing that I've got a good friend there and then also getting to meet the coaches. They're really nice people. I've never heard anybody say anything bad about them, especially them being from the Southern Illinois area.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Everybody knew them. So I mean, all the coach, even the coaches I played for at SIU, they were all like, they're amazing people. You'll really enjoy playing for them. So I mean, that aspect is making me more excited than nervous to get there. But
I love that.
no, yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of took a Jordy Ball approach because you went in SIU, you grew the sport, and again, people know about you. A lot of people have always talked about the interview we had with you first round.
Yeah.
Even Dane said this. So you've grown the sport there, and it's cool that the SIU people are excited for you coming to Texas Tech. Of course, Jerry's great, Najee great. You're gonna fit right in. I think, as Dane said,
Yeah.
you're probably going to push him over the edges here, and you may bring home a World Series next year. I know we're Sooners, but I would not be surprised if you help push him over the top.
Absolutely.
So my question, kind of jumping into it before Dane takes two, Jackie, lessons learned, looking over your body of work. This is a new school, new program, but softball stays the same even though it changes. Your
Yep.
last year playing, just the body of work that you put together. What's your biggest takeaway of the past year that you've learned as an athlete?
Hmm.
You know,
I would say my biggest takeaway is like, you've kind of gotta, even though it is a team sport, sometimes you do gotta look out for yourself. I do know that, at SIU, I knew I was building like a Hall of Fame career there, and my aunt's in the Hall of Fame there, so that's something that like she left for me, and then like I kind of knew like taking this last year out of there that I was kind of taking myself out of that role, but at the
Hmm.
same time, it's like I knew I would have a chance with the career I've put together at SIU to go somewhere that has that chance at a World Series
hmm
and I can bring it home, and that's just something that I've always wanted. I was a really small kid. I was supposed to be 5'2", 100 pounds, soaking wet. So my parents called me their D2 baby. And so then when I went
Huh.
to SIU and started breaking all these records, it was like, hey, you're actually not as small, and like you can do it. Like we see the vision now. And so just to kind of be able to prove that, like, like
you've
I've
proven
got
it.
it in me to be
Yeah, you
able
got
to
that
play
dog
for a
in you.
national championship team.
Yeah.
Um, that's
Yeah.
kind of one thing that, like, at the end of the year, I kind of had to ask myself, like, do I want to leave a Hall of Fame career or do I want to go have a chance to win it all? And,
Hmm.
just looking back at that little 5 foot Jackie that got told she was stuck in Division 2, she'd want to go for that national championship.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dane, I think
That's
she's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
pull. I think she's gonna
factor.
LeBron it. You're gonna get a title, come back home, Jackie. I
Yeah, there
see
you
it.
go.
So you're gonna LeBron this thing, right? Right, Dane?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And as I was listening, that the what was the saying? It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
Oh
That's
yeah.
you're living up to that very quote. So now that you're going into this next season, um, with Texas Tech, you're going to bring a lot of knowledge with you. Obviously, you bring the accolades, you bring in uh, so many things to that club to help them go on to that next level, hopefully. What is maybe one of your goals going into this new venture, something you're hoping to bring to that team? And what is a personal goal for you? And also, what do you hope to bring to that team?
Mm.
Hopefully, like, I always try to bring like a good environment with me. No matter what the team I play on, I always try to have a good time and just be friends with everybody. I'm a social person. I like to talk to people and I like to have a good amount of friends. So, I do hope that like I can contribute to the team culture there, especially coming from a place where we've had such a good culture over the past 3 years. It was one thing our coaches were always very proud of us for. um, I just hope that like I can kind of take what I've learned from my years at SIU, like leadership wise and teammate wise, and kind of contribute that to Texas Tech. Cause you got to think they've got all new coaches. They just rebuilt their team last year with tons of
Yeah.
transfers and
Hmm.
Yeah.
only 3 girls returning or something like that. And, like they're kind of in a rebuild phase. So it's
Mhm.
kind of a little bit, they're in a different situation. So they've got to be able to take all the like all the culture they can get and just keep pushing their program in the right direction, like teammate wise and culture wise. So that's kind of one thing that I really hope that I can leave an impact there, is just kind of help show everybody like, hey, this is what I've seen work and this is how
Hmm.
I've seen the team grow close, because teams that like each other off the field are going to like playing for each other on the field.
Right. Right.
Mm.
So
Chemistry.
if
Yeah.
I can just help build that environment and then leave that behind, because I mean, I'm only there for 1 year. I can only impact 1 year. So if that's
Mhm.
just one thing I can leave with me, then I've done my job.
That's
Mm.
awesome. You
Mm.
know,
That-
when we announced it, we talked about you. You and I were talking a couple days ago and all that about getting you over there, and we watched every game. We don't miss the game. My wife is there. She coaches. Dane's wife coaches. So watching the way you play, it's cool because I look at this Texas Tech squad and I kind of similarly compare them to like a Detroit Pistons. Like there's a scrappy. You guys are scrappy. When I look at Demi and just everybody scraps. Like nobody goes down in the count. Nobody wants to give up. It's just grueling. It is
yeah.
grind. Low scoring games, hard fought, like stealing bases. Just it's
Yeah.
not a 10, 15 like glory run thing. It's fight. It's scrappy. I think of scrappy. And you add to that. Like the way you play is so aggressive that, like you said, that big dog mentality. You're just so aggressive. So as you're going into this season, I guess dancing around my question, you have a lot of people that kind of watch what you do, as you've shared. Who you dedicating this year to? Like maybe is there someone that you want to dedicate this season to? I know you're playing for yourself, obviously, but is there someone that you're playing
Yeah.
for? Maybe that your city, your family. Who are you playing for this year overall?
I would say this year's definitely for like majority of my family. I mean, they're always the ones out at the ballpark, shagging
Yeah.
on my BP, throwing me all the BP, hitting me all the ground balls. So I mean, this is definitely a big year for them. They're actually probably more excited to get to experience all this than I am. So, I mean, just growing up, like my dad played in the major or in the minors, my grandpa played in
Yep.
the majors. So, I mean, he's lived all this, but neither of them got to play in a World Series. So,
Mm.
just he's more excited for that experience than I think anybody is. So, just to be able to kind of go somewhere that I have that chance to get them that experience, not only get me that experience, but to be able to get my family to get to experience that is something that I'm really looking forward to.
Doing it
Mm.
for the family, for the city, for the family, just doing it
Oh
for all
yeah.
the right reasons. It's making me all
Oh yeah.
get the feels, Dane. How about you?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when you go into this next season, not to look too far forward, but you're planning on doing some great things to help this team get over that hump and get that title. Now, beyond that, you hate to see things come to an end. And for you, I'm sure there's quite a few options, obviously with the degree, leaving with doing something in the world to help better it. Have you thought about continuing on with your softball journey, maybe going pro possibly in the future, or maybe doing some coaching lessons?
Mm-hmm.
What are maybe your plans beyond the college experience of softball?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been asked this question before. My answer is always like, I'm playing softball till it's done with me. Um, and until it's done with me, I'm gonna be playing. And yeah, once softball's tired of me, I'll hang my cleats up and I'll call it a day. I'll walk away. But if I get the chance to play pro, great. That's kind of another one of the reasons I kind of wanted
Mhm.
to hit that portal, is just because I've got 1 year and it's just easier to get looks and
Yep.
kind of prove
Yeah.
that you've got that pro caliber when you're playing at a Texas Tech.
Mhm.
So that is kind of another reason that the transfer portal looked a little appealing to me. And then, even like I've got some Italian descent in me. So like I've heard from the like Team Italy coaches. So I mean that's something that like I've
That's
been looking
cool.
Oh,
into. And even if like that doesn't work out, I've been pursuing my accounting degree, and so just I want to get my MBA with that. So if I
mhm.
GA somewhere, then I'd love to get to coach a little bit of softball. And then, if I really like my GA spot and I want to find an assistant spot, I'd have no problem making that MBA wait to get put into
Mm.
use and just kind of stick around the sport a little bit longer.
Options, man. So many. And I think we've said this before, it's cool you're part of a movement. We say this the groundswell, obviously the inaugural
Yeah.
season of AU. It's fun, man. Watching them play, they just came through Wichita, watching AU play pro level, MLB's backing them. It's only going to get more and more bigger. Teams are going to expand. And women's sports, as it should be, we've talked about this with you before, rightfully so, have never been more popular. I'm so glad. It's a long time coming, as we said, way overdue, but you're part of that, like you're in history. This season of history, you're part of female athletics getting the respect they deserve. Me and Dane and I preach this constantly, so I think it's only a
Yeah.
matter of time before you are in the pros. Coaching, you should go pro, okay, World Series, pro, and then let's coach down the road after that. Let's keep
Oh
this
Yeah, there
yeah.
thing
you go.
going. And then with your degree, you can maybe GM a team when you're like, in your 60s or 70s. You could like GM a team or something, right? When you're
There you
done
go.
playing, right? I'm just saying, because you have the goods. Obviously, you have the accolades, Hall of Famer, and it's not like SIU is a great team. It's not like we're talking
Mhm.
about a tiny mid major that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
That team people know about as well. So every step you've taken is like this calculated approach to just expand your brand. So I'm excited to see you play. Again, you're not wearing orange, so we love you even if you were wearing burnt orange. But thank you that you're not. So you're totally cool with the black and red. We can't wait to see
Perfect.
you play. We talk about this too. You told us in interviews past, and just discussing back and forth, that the game kind of changes, even if it's pro, whether you're a coach, college level, 12U travel ball, the 8U days littles. The game kind of changes, but it also doesn't. So I've always wanted to pick someone's brain at a high level like yourself, whether it's your 8U days of playing or now going into like the Texas Tech face, possibly college to coaching. What's a drill that you feel like you use every step of the way there's a fundamental that you
Mm.
never let go of? Things change. What's something you've never let go of as far as a fundamental in the sport?
I would have to go long toss.
Yeah.
I've played with a lot of people that have always had arm problems, and that's just kind of been one thing that like I've never had that issue. And I mean, it's not fun. Like it's a very upper body sport. If you can't throw, then you're limited to maybe DHing, or if you're a pitcher and you've got shoulder problems, then that's not very fun to do. But
Yeah.
my dad's always been a big believer of just 10 minutes a long toss a day, and not
Yeah.
only is your arm strength gonna be better than somebody who doesn't do it, but you're gonna be able to do all the different kinds of throwing drills and all this and all that, and you're gonna be fine at the end of the day, and you'll be able to move your arm the next day.
Love it.
So
Love
that
it.
was just always one thing that even like one of the infield coaches at Texas Tech, we were at a dinner and he asked about it. He was like, "So do any of you guys long toss?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I long toss every day. I can't go without it." And he was so happy to hear that, because I guess, like it's kind of getting thrown to the side a little bit. It's not as
Mm.
popular, but um, it's definitely one thing that, gets overlooked, that I'm a big fan of it. My dad's a big fan of it. My grandpa was a big fan of it.
Yeah.
And I trust them a little bit. They've seen it all
Yeah,
done all.
Yeah.
done
So,
it all.
oh
Long
yeah.
toss, huh? There you go, Dane. So from someone who's at that pro knocking on pros door, so long toss is still where it's at, man. You
Oh
can,
yeah.
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
never
Don't
stops.
skip it.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. My wife always tells my daughter that's an important drill.
some,
Oh yeah.
Even though they dread it, they still do it.
Oh yeah, at that age you hate it, I promise.
couple things, Jackie, to welcome you to Texas because we won't be that far from here. We're in Kansas,
Yeah.
but we do a lot of traveling in Texas.
Yeah.
Couple things I would welcome you with this mindset to Texas about. They'll be a little different. I know you've
Yeah.
traveled there a lot, but when you're living there and all that, a couple things. First of all, never, ever, ever disappoints. Please stop by the Buc-ee's if you haven't. Buc-ee's should be your first stop. It's kind of up there
Yeah.
with World Series. It's like I went to Buc-ee's, got a World Series. It's that incredible, you know. Also, please make sure that you treat yourself to Chewy's. Have you ever had Chewy's before?
Oh,
'Cause if
we just
not,
got one here in Evansville.
Oh,
okay,
So,
okay.
oh
oh,
yeah.
nice.
You know, kind of NIL expanding things like that. I think you should definitely try to get Buc-ee's to sponsor you. I'm just saying, it'd be
Oh yeah.
really cool. I mean, that'd be a dope sponsorship for
Oh
NIL,
yeah.
right? Right, Dane? Would that be cool? So
Oh, yeah.
go ahead, Dane. Yeah,
It's just a
off
matter
the
of
cuff,
asking.
off the cuff, man. But yeah,
Yeah, Josh was mentioning World Series. Now that it's over and but all the pageantry's kind of winding down. It's never too early, obviously, to look to next year. Especially now that you're with a team that has a chance, as we've seen this year. So with that, what do you think maybe as your prediction for the 2026 Women's College World Series? Maybe
top
Final
four,
Four,
top five. Yeah,
Final
Final
Four
four.
prediction, and then going forward, maybe a championship.
Yeah,
So Final Four, I mean, obviously I see Texas Tech in that.
yeah, I do too.
That's gonna be my first choice.
Yep.
I think Texas isn't really losing too many pieces. I think they'll be back as much as you guys are gonna hate to hear that.
It's true.
But
It's true.
I do think Oklahoma's gonna reload their bullpen. So I do think they'll also be in that top four. And then I think you can't not put Tennessee in there with Carlin Pickens. You
That's what I
just
said
can't
too.
ignore them
Yeah,
with that, you
yeah.
know. They're always gonna have a flamethrower in the circle, like that'll get you pretty far.
Only getting better. Yeah. I that's kind of what I had too, Dan. Yours is pretty similar. I think maybe
Yeah.
you had UCLA maybe in there
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
Tennessee, but
UCLA.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because you're right. And it's cool. What I think is neat, and this year, yes, we're OU fans, we're also softball fans, right? And
Yeah.
again,
Absolutely.
even joking with Texas, on the field's different. Off the field, we love them and all that too. But you guys got to see the differences this year. It's so different. Nobody was it was such an equal playing field. It was so
Yeah.
great for the sport. That's one of the first years I've
Mhm.
seen it wasn't a total parody or total landslide. And I love that. It was so good for
Yeah.
the games. We're watching high pitch counts, we're watching base stealing, we're watching like grinds into the deep into the sixth, seventh innings. It was one of the most fun years to me I think I've ever seen for softball. So I think you're right. I think it's going to be you guys. In my honest, humble opinion, I think it's going to be you guys in Tennessee. I do in the
Yeah.
finals. I love
Yeah.
Oklahoma. I'm a diehard, but I don't think next year is going to be the year. I just don't. Dane,
Yeah.
sorry to say it, man, but I'm just being real.
Well,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know Patty loves her pitcher rental, like 1 year rental pitchers. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think she'll pull somebody out of the portal that we're not expecting, and they'll develop her into a pretty good ace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
Never count them
Jackie,
out.
Well, and with that, if you guys happen to, you'll have your proper bragging rights over
yeah,
Grandpa and Dad with that World Series
that's so
championship.
cool.
Oh yeah, that's the plan.
Let's make a rule now. When you win a World Series, I'm gonna send you a ball. I need you to sign it for me. That's all I'm asking, just one, and I'll put it on my mantle. So I'm just right now we're asking to be the first when you get it. So anyway, so Jackie, as always, it's an honor. We appreciate you. Like I
Yeah.
said, old friend, you've really helped us promote this
Yeah.
this
Absolutely.
venue. We love female athletics. We love female sports. Again,
Absolutely.
both of our daughters played, both of them pitched. For the first time ever, my daughters are both playing on the same team. So we live, eat, sleep, and breathe softball. And you're just one of those people we've always just loved.
Yeah.
You're such a positive role model. You know the sport, you know your worth,
Yeah.
and you encourage people. Like one of the things about you speaking about your height, it encourages my daughters. I got a daughter who's 4'11". She plays. So
Yeah.
hearing you talk about it doesn't matter how big or small you are, you
Yeah.
can't measure the fight. Just thank you for constantly reinforcing those values that we try to teach them, but they think you're way cooler, so they listen to you instead. Thank you for preaching
Yeah.
those values that we just can't get enough of,
Absolutely.
Jackie. It means the world to us. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Well, good luck on your ventures on moving day and all that. Good luck on your way through
Yeah.
Texas. So obviously, let's make sure we do it again as the season goes on and on. Make sure we make some time. We'll set aside some time for you.
Yeah.
And when the time is right again and you're bringing home that trophy, let's make sure we do it again soon. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah.
Absolutely.
That sounds good.
much love. Jackie, anything in
Nope.
closing before I give you some time back in your day? You want to say? Or
No, I mean,
all,
just all the little softball players out there, don't let them tell you you can't do it.
I love it.
Just know what you want to do and go do it.
I love it. Jackie, thank you. You're always, as always, much a pleasure. So
Yeah.
good at what you do. Thank you for being a good sport, and we'll catch up soon. And good luck. And is it Reckham?
Yeah.
It hurts to say
Reckham.
that. It hurts to say that. Reckham. Boom.
Oh yeah.
It's not natural, but Reckham, Jackie. Okay. Have a great day, my
Yeah.
friend. Much love. We'll see you soon. Okay.
Thank you,
you.
Jackie.
So, take care.
Thank you.
So Dan, I'm telling you, man, I love her. She's so like intense, but also so calm at the same time. She's so in control of what she wants. What do you think of her,
Yeah,
man? Isn't she
yeah,
great?
yeah. I love it. You can hear the passion in her voice, the controlled storm, the tempest that's coming at you. You can't help but see it. And you can feel it when you talk to her, the passion that all these athletes have that play at a high level. They never tire of talking about it, no matter how many innings they've played, no matter how
Hmm.
tired they are from practices and things like that. They're always very engaging. So,
Hmm.
and that's why you love a sport. You maybe even to expand on what you said, us being OU fans, but bigger softball fans, and
Hmm.
I'll even take it a step further. We're player fans, and
Hmm.
she's made us player fans by her attitude she brings to the game and obviously to our program. So
Hmm.
we can't thank her enough for that.
She was one of those first people, man. I look back on because it was season one when we had her on, maybe season two, first time around. And I started understanding that there's so many stories out there. It's only a
Yeah,
matter of time. And we talked about this before, man. It's only a matter of time before she goes pro or maybe transfer because
yeah,
SIU is
yeah,
great, but she's just so good. And it's because she knows she's confident. She puts in the work every single day. She's talking
yeah,
about fundamentals. We still teach the 12U all the way up
yeah,
that she just doesn't stop those fundamentals. And no wonder people, when they see her, like, we got to have her on the team. She's gonna
yeah,
help push that over the edge next year, man. I mean,
yeah,
base
absolutely.
running. She's if you look up her records, her SIU record, she's in the Hall of Fame. That's not a joke. She's
Yeah,
literally Hall of Fame caliber. So just I believe she's got a World Series coming her way, man. I do.
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel it. So
Can't wait to
that
watch it.
it's gonna be great, man. I wish we could already get into like next February already. Let's fast forward the clock 7, 8 months. Let's go. Give us something to look forward to. So, guys, that's Jackie Lee's a great player, and we'll get
Yeah,
all the socials out. She needs no introduction. You guys know her, but be sure to cheer her on. We just think the world of her. So that's Dane and I. We got one more coming tonight. Got an MMA fighter coming through, so it should be a good
yeah.
night. But on behalf of Dane and I and the softball world, as always, don't forget that we love you. And Dane.
Thank you for listening.